Hey guys. Oh my gosh. This little girl here just, oh my goodness. When I tell you that there is something magical about her, I am lost on stupid with her. I really am. I've had a lot of babies, and I've loved them, and I've felt special, you know, things for them, and they've all had their, she likes to put her hand up, they have had all different special quirky things about them that have made me like just really like feel connected to them, or like they remind me of my babies, my real babies and stuff like that. As much as I love, like, you know, the full-size babies and stuff like that, the preemie babies, something special about them. But I remember having like my micro preemie. I think they are just a little too small for me. I love looking at them. I like holding them. They're very, you know, unique, and I think the whole shopping for them is pretty cool. But like preemie, like a regular preemie size in silicone, now I don't really necessarily care for them in reborn size when they're preemie and reborn size, but silicone, I feel this huge like connection with the smaller babies. I don't know, maybe because they feel like they just got home or something. But this size right here, she is like a small newborn, and it's just amazing to just hold her and just cuddle with her. Like, I've just been, look at her trying to suck on her finger. I've just been so in love with my collection lately, and I've been taking the time to, you know, relax and unwind, and you know, my dolls help me with that. No matter what people say on the outside and how they judge us, and they make all these crazy assumptions that we're, you know, crazy, we're missing something, we're this, we're that. It's the truth. I don't know how to explain it. It's the truth. And I think when I was a little girl, I had such a big imagination. I used to make up the most craziest stories about my dolls. And I remember as a child, this is so crazy, I would sit on the bed. I always had like a ton of dolls too, like 12, 13. I would literally have all of them, pile them all up on the bed. I remember like I had Patricia, she was a redhead. That was my Cabbage Patch. I had Sandy. I had, who else? I can't remember all their names though. But I remember those two because there was a story about the two Cabbage Patches. We'll talk about that one. Basically, I'll tell you the story really quick about the two Cabbage Patches. Me and Grandma goes to the store. It was Pick and Save. Pick and Save got closed down many years after. Cabbage Patches was fairly new, and I wanted a Cabbage Patch, and Grandma said, okay, go get it. So, but when I went to the shelf, they only had white Cabbage Patches, and they didn't have any black Cabbage Patches. I had saw the black Cabbage Patches on commercials, but when I got to the store, they didn't have any. So I said, Grandma, they don't have any black ones. And she was like, well, she was like, just get the white one that you like. And she was like, and then when, I'll keep checking with the store, and when the black ones come in, I'll get you a black one. Okay. So Grandma got the redhead, which was Patty. I love that baby, or that Cabbage Patch doll. My aunt at the time was in high school, And she was this little popular, sexy little thing. You know, all the boys loved her. She was grown and fast. Never played with a doll in her life. And I got the Cabbage Patch and everything. And then my grandma, when she did find the black Cabbage Patch. And when she got it, she brought it home. And my auntie pitched a fit. And she had to be maybe like 16 or so about this Cabbage Patch. Now keep in mind, I lived with my grandmother at this time. And I was like the baby girl. And my aunt was kind of like jealous a lot. Like, you know. And she's kind of just like that too. I call her the wild aunt. I love her to pieces. I get some of my ways from her, unfortunately. But she throws such a fit. And grandma was like, just let her have it and I'll buy you another one. And I cried so bad. And she took the doll. And then the shade of it all, she never played with it. So I used to, you know, take it and play with it while she wasn't there. And then when she got a little older, she moved out with her grown behind with her boyfriend. She came back and took the Cabbage Patch. But I think somehow I ended up getting that Cabbage Patch back from her again. But it was funny that, so anyway, I forgot where I was going with the story. But anyway, so I would pile back to the story. I would pile up all these babies on my bed. And I would like, be like, oh, you know, I was pretend like it was something major happening, you know. I would be like, pretending that that something, come at me, come on. I would be pretending like like we were in a storm or something and we had to, you know, all, you know, come up for shelter and stuff like that. It was just crazy. Like I would just make up stuff, and the reason why we had to all be piled up in that freaking bed on, you know, on my bed or whatever. And so I would like pile them all up. And then when my sister, I had a half sister, my father had 5 girls. I'm the oldest of all 5. And one of my sisters, we were very close because my mom made sure that we were. And when she would come over, I would tell her like, get in the bed, pull the covers up. Like I would tell her like, it's snakes on the ground and this and all that. We would just like be on these missions, and I would be telling all these stories, and she would be like, oh, I'm scared, sissy, and all this and stuff. And it was just stupid. But I always loved dolls, and I loved having a lot of dolls. And I used to dress them. I used to change their little clothes. I used to, like, with my Cabbage Patch, I used to put on little socks and stuff like that. I would, you know, always make up little stories. I would talk to them. Like, I had the biggest imagination a kid could ever have growing up. I did. And I was the only child, so I had to make up stuff, you know, because I didn't have anyone really to play with. And my parents never, my mom never, she never bothered me. You know, my mom was not an absent parent. My grandmother just kind of took over. That's a, you know, whole nother personal story. But my grandmother just kind of took over with me. And so I just kind of stayed with my grandmother for a long time. But even when I would be with my mom, or I moved back with my mom never bothered me. My sweet 16, I bought my own self a Baby Alive. It was the newer Baby Alive, just came out, so I was excited about that. So I've always loved dolls. But when I found a doll that looked realistic, and I know I tell this story all the time, I went crazy over it. And so the realism of these dolls just blows my mind. But the whole dressing and stuff like that, and I won't lie, the holding part is just amazing to me too. And because like a lot of people don't understand, this is a very emotional art. Our purchases are very emotional. A lot of us, some people just buy, they don't care, they don't have to have a connection, they don't have to like who they're buying from or admire who they're buying from or nothing like that. But for me, I have to admire that artist's style of work or the artist's style of work or something like that. Like I can't see somebody doing all kinds of like nasty, rude things, like, or in a forum, or feel some type of way about somebody, and then still buy a doll from them. I don't know if I could do it secondhand. Like if one of my friends had one of the dolls and I liked it, would I buy it that way? I don't know. But I know that for me, because it's such an emotional thing, I don't want the energy that I feel for that person to transfer on the doll. It's kind of like keeping an old wedding ring, or keeping, I won't go that far because maybe that's a little different. It's like, well, yeah, like it's kind of like you and a girlfriend falling out. She's did all types of things and you absolutely can't stand her, and she gave you something, an outfit, but you wear it every day. I can't do that. Like, I don't know, but that's just me. But I just really love the feeling that it gives you. Like you feel like you feel like you are holding a real baby. And I do this a lot. I just realized that I do this a lot. I run my hands through their hair a lot. So it just gives you that I don't know, that motherly instinct. Like, I don't know, that motherly feeling. I don't know how to explain it. And sometimes if I think too hard about it, it does make me feel like I'm weird. So I just don't think about a child. Girl, what? It's like, whatever. This is how it is. But I really, really enjoy collecting. I love the hobby. And this is why, as much as I love sharing and I love social media and all that stuff, I can absolutely enjoy my dolls off camera, offline. Sure, one can say all day long that, oh, blah, 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 da, 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 but we're YouTubers for a reason. We're on Instagram for a reason, because it feels good to share. It does. It feels good to have people understand the hobby or your passion, and it does. It feels good. Minus the trolls and all the negatives, it does feel good. It does feel good. And that's why I still continuously stay here. That's why I continuously make videos, take pictures, and share with you guys, because it does feel good to be able to share with you all, because you guys get it and understand it. You know, people that come across the videos for the first time, they don't get it. I mean, I had a friend that I had talked about these dolls to for a long time, and she was like, what would I do with a doll, you know, type thing. I think I told this story before. She basically lost babies and couldn't have children anymore. She was like, what can I do with this doll? Like, really, what am I going to do with a doll? But one day, after something major happened, after I gave her time, I showed up at her door, and I had Paris Milmore, Ja'Cory, and somebody else, and I showed up with those dolls. And when I showed up with those dolls at her door, she laughed at first, but she could not put the baby down. And she says, oh my God, now I get it. And she loved them from that point. She really did. She really had an interest in it. I think maybe she was a little embarrassed to admit, but she did want one. It was just that the one that she wanted, I wasn't willing to part with at the time. She wasn't into silicone though. She didn't really care for the silicone as much. She was into the reborns. She liked the reborns. She didn't like the way that the silicone felt. I don't know, maybe it was too real for her. Maybe that kind of brought other kind of emotions out for her. But she did absolutely love it. So sometimes people say things because they've never experienced or seen it. But I also believe in not forcing things down their throat, because I was prepared to either get cussed out or, you know, just put them away and just have my regular visit with her in that moment. But it went well. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I've put baby Alex to sleep, and I will chat with you guys later. Thanks.